So, good. Okay, well, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're going to be streaming soon, I think. We're live crossing to we've got 3 sites who are doing Clean Up Australia, and we're going to live cross to them, so it's actually going to be fun. We'll get to see what they're doing, if any of them have got wet. I don't think it's raining yet. I'll tell you the funny bit. I live on the eastern shore. It was beautiful and sunny this morning, and I crossed the bridge. Does that normally happen? Yeah, okay, yeah, that was happening today. All right. Do you want to stand and sing with me? We'll sing Bless the Lord. I've been reading Job a bit at the start of this year, and I was quite impacted by a couple of verses. Actually, sorry, grab a seat. I just want to read these to you. Yo-yos. I wanted to read this to you. He just lost everything he had. He lost his kids, his house, his livelihood, his farm and everything. And he's devastated. And this is what he says. This verse kind of summarises the whole of Job. He says, "Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." That last line is so out of fit with the rest of it. There's this disaster stuff going on. And then he says, "And may the name of the Lord be praised." And this is what Job was all about. No matter what happens, I'll praise his name. I want to read you one more passage of Job in chapter 29. He says, this is the life. I think this is basically how to live as a Christian, even though the word Christian wasn't used back in those days. He said, "I assisted the poor in their need and the orphans who required help. I helped those without hope, and they blessed me. And I caused the widows' hearts to sing for joy. Everything I did was honest. Righteousness covered me like a robe, and I wore justice like a turban. I served as eyes for the blind and feet for the lame. I was a father to the poor, and I assisted strangers who needed help. I broke the jaws of godless oppressors and plucked their victims from their teeth." And I like this passage. Today we're doing Clean Up Australia Day and wanting to love and serve our community and to bless our community. And I love that Job says, "I'll do all this stuff." But then in the next part of the chapter he says, "And yet still God seems to be against me and destroying me." But I love his little capture of this is what it means to live a godly life. So, do you want to stand with me? You're going to have to sing extra loud this morning. Okay, thanks. Bless the Lord, O my soul. Your like never before. Oh, my soul, I'll worship your holy name. Yeah, Father, I pray that you'll help us to keep that attitude of praise, Father, to be able to, in whatever circumstance we're facing, to be able to continue to praise and worship you. No matter what we go through, we know you're with us. Thanks, God. How deep the Father's love for us. I'm guessing you know this one. So, nice to have you all this morning. Just a couple of notices. It's nice to have someone. This is not our normal church, where half our church is missing. I don't know if you normally come here, but yeah, we've got many people out doing the Clean Up Australia today. So this is the faithful few who are praying for them. Yeah, so great. We've got a few bits of family news. If I can just get back to that. On this Monday and Tuesday, all the Baptist ministers from the state are coming together at Hobart Baptist, and we've got just a special time of regrouping and sharing how things are going around the state. So if you'd like to pray for that, especially tomorrow and Tuesday, that would be great. Coming up at the end of March, on the 25th, we've got a new thing called a community tea. I think you've done one last year. A community tea is where a few families choose to host, and then anyone else who wants to be part of it will actually designate you to a host, and so you actually go to someone's house with a few other people and have a tea together. It's just from 6 till 7:30, so it doesn't take the whole evening, but it's a nice way of getting to meet others from our broader church. So we won't be just lining you up geographically, but we'll actually be saying we want you to meet other people from our Nepalese congregation and our Mornington one, so which would be great. So there'll be notices coming out this week about the community tea. But also on the 27th of March is Neighbour Day, so we'll talk more about it next week. Neighbour Day is, I think it's an Australia-wide program where we actually are encouraged to go and meet our neighbours. So here's a few questions for you. Out of the 9 people who surround your house, how many of them do you know their names? Have you got a quick show of hands? How many names do you know of your neighbours where you live? I've probably only got 4 neighbours where I am, but I've only got one of their names so far. So I don't know how you're going with that, but be great for you to try and get to know your neighbours and just start being neighbourly. So I called one person on my street when I was away and said, could you put my bins out? Which was a nice way of being a neighbour. Also for prayer this week, we've got Paul Ray over in Nepal with his family, who's at a wedding over there, and so it'd be nice to be praying that he hasn't been there for 7 years, so just pray that he has a really precious time with his family there. Okay, we're going to stop and watch a video. This is a video by Operation Mobilisation, so OM in the Ukraine, and I wanted to give you a bit of a view of the longer battle that our Christian brothers and sisters have been facing in the Ukraine. It is a long-going battle. We've been especially conscious of it this week. So we'll watch this for a sec. Thanks, Steve.
Каждыми днями стреляют.
Очень близко.
Сидим в подвалах. Раньше сидели. На данный момент это невозможно, потому что его затопило и прятаться сейчас негде. Это очень сложно. Ты сидишь каждый день и ожидаешь, что вот-вот и прилетит, ты можешь просто либо утром не проснуться, либо я не могу с вами. Я вот даже говорю, за что угодно могу рассказать, но это не могу.
Когда начались боевые действия в нашем регионе, люди оказались, как заложниками конфликта. Но на протяжении уже нескольких лет обстрелы не прекращаются. 11 месяцев у людей как нет электричества, нету воды, нету газа. И люди остаются под постоянными обстрелами, проживая в подвалах.
И церковь называется «Добрая весть». Мы служим на линии фронта, и на самом деле линия фронта от нашего города 60-70 километров, а в 2014 году мы пережили войну прямо здесь. Поэтому во время войны, когда начали взрываться снаряды в нашем городе, мы отреагировали тем, что начали эвакуировать людей. И на самом деле взрывались снаряды, это было опасно для жизни, но люди в церкви настолько были воодушевлены послужить горожанам, что забирали в свои машины, бусами вывозили из города, из зоны конфликта в другой город. После этого начался этап восстановления домов, потому что в городе было разрушено порядка 1500 частных домов. Потом мы начали служить людям в других городах по линии фронта. И мы увидели, что принося хлеб и воду, это не меняет людей. И тогда родилась у нас идея об организации миссионерских команд.
Начали там проводить собрания, приглашать людей в зал, то есть было определенное уже место, время, где мы договорились, то есть люди стали туда приходить. И сегодня там уже команда, которая трудится на постоянной основе. То есть там есть церковь, люди водный завет принимают, становятся членами церкви.
За последние 2 года организовано 28 миссионерских команд вдоль всей линии фронта, вдоль всей фронт-лайн.
Вы когда-нибудь слышали такое выражение «пастор-герой»?
Пастор-герой?
Да.
Может быть, кто-то так называет. Ну, слышали, конечно, что просто как... Ну, во-первых, я думаю, это тот, который любит Бога и любит людей. Но, как бы, просто, наверное, делаем то, что должны делать. То есть, настоящие христиане.
Что побудило вас на протяжении всего этого вооруженного конфликта и войны оставаться здесь, на этом месте?
Ну, так трудно сказать. Просто сегодня, оборачиваясь назад, можно одеть это в слова. А в тот момент просто реальная боль за боль людей, которые погибали здесь, заставляла вот просто приходить с риском для жизни, спасать.
Как говорит Библия, что, видя беду, то есть он не убегает и не оставляет стадо.
So that video was released last week. It's an ongoing video that they've been creating since 2014. So it's a beautiful ministry. I'd love us to spend a few minutes. We've got about 7 minutes just to pray. So we might jump into two small groups, I think. So just in our two areas. But I'd love to be praying for this, but also, I don't know if you've been following the news, but we've had all the floods in New South Wales and Queensland. There's been especially a number of towns that have been really destroyed again. They seem to have done this 10 years ago, the same thing. So I'd love to be praying for some of these things that are going on around the world. You'll have other things that God places on your heart. So just 5 minutes to pray together for our world, if that's okay. Yeah, cool.
actually found a washing machine just behind me. So we're trying to figure out if we can actually get out. That's pretty odd.
Great. Let's do a quick update. Okay, and what was I going to ask? What is it that why are you out there today? What are you doing? What are you cleaning up the street? Why are you over there? Why are you cleaning up Australia?
We're cleaning up because we want to help our community and show that, that's part of being a Christian and that's what we do. We create community and we help out those around us.
Yeah, great. And you've all got your high vis on?
What was that, sorry?
You've all got your high vis jackets on?
Yeah, we do. We've got some people working up on the highway, like just near the highway, so, making sure nice and safe.
Yeah, nice. And I don't know if you can hear me very well, but is there enough rubbish to keep you busy for an hour?
Yeah, there definitely quite a bit going on, especially near the highway. People chuck it out of their cars and it, goes everywhere.
Great. All right, thanks, Sophie.
That's
Thanks for
all
calling
good.
in.
Bye.
Cool. See you later. All right, nice to see him out. Or see two of them. I saw two. Was there more than two there? Which is a good sign because I think that means they're neighbours. So great. Right. Well, we'll sing. Which song was it? I've just closed it down. If you want to join with me, we'll sing "This Is Amazing Grace." Great. Yeah. If you want to stand. We're going to do a crossover to Lindisfarne now. So I've just got to hook this up. They're not on yet, are they? I don't reckon. So talk amongst yourselves just for a minute while I get this one going. I could almost call him, couldn't I? So we're going to talk to Pete and Janine Collins. They're at Lindisfarne, so at Kiln Point I haven't walked around there yet, but around the bay, one of the nice things that we've had, let me know when they're on, Steve, but one of the nice things that we've had over there is that from Clean Up Australia Day about 4 years ago, they ended up forming a group of people who said, let's do this every month and make sure our coastline's always clean. And so they actually have a rota so that they do this 1 kilometre of Kiln Point every month, which I think's great. So the lady who's running it there, she was actually quite worried when I said, can I bring part of our church over? She said, oh, there's not much rubbish because we keep on top of it. So it's kind of a nice outcome. And I've actually been noticing that in a few places you can see there are communities where the location is loved and you can see that the people care about it. And then when I drive home, there are places where there's rubbish everywhere on the side of the road. And there's just such a different contrast. And so I'd really encourage you guys to keep committing to your local area, to love your streets, to love the people in your community and to respect it. So, right, I think we've nearly got him. No, I need a joke. So we're coming up, good. And then after this, we're going to actually look just down the road here. So Matt Garvin's down there with a bunch, so with Nepal Church as well. Right, sounds like we've got Pete on the line. How are you, Pete? He's almost got us. He looks good, doesn't
Are
he?
you after me?
Yeah, hi Pete, how are you going?
Right, I can hardly hear you, but never mind. I've got the volume up as much as I can.
Okay. Well, you're allowed to hold the phone up to your ear so you can hear my questions, if that helps. Yeah,
Well,
yeah, that's
yes.
right. That's right. I like that.
So you can't see me now. I'll show you my my equipment.
Okay, great.
All sorts of rubbish in there, but because I've had my tail up in the air,
Yeah.
getting plastic and whatever,
Yeah.
I haven't got a clue where everyone. Oh, wait on. There's one. There's Anne Harrison
Right.
in amongst the bushes.
Can you turn the camera around and show us? All right. Can you
Yeah,
turn the camera around and show us a bit? There's one.
Yep, there's Anne. But
It's like-
she's the only one I can see.
Yeah. Is there
We've,
enough rubbish there?
there's not a lot where we are because we've had those heavy rains lately and they've washed out a lot of the gunk that's in the creek here at Rosny. But there's a shopping trolley. I don't know whether it's Woolies or Coles, but it is embedded. I saw Harm trying to get it out, and he's not strong enough. I think it's there until a crane comes along.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, thanks for doing the clean up. It's good to hear from you. Have you got many there?
Yes, a lot, to the point that I think they just about ran out of, the high-vis stuff and the gloves and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, great.
Mhm.
Great.
Now, yes, so
Thanks.
there is a good turn up here, and it's nice weather, and it's good to know that we can in some way make a difference to God's creation.
Yeah, great. Good on you. Thanks, Pete. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, not at all. Bye.
See ya. I think we should give him a job with the ABC, don't you? Yeah, that's a round of applause for that. It's good. Okay, that's great. It's good to have him. Okay, I'm going to throw over to Pete. So I'll give you the mic, Pete. Pete's going to lead us through praying for Hobart.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. And I guess the first thing as we come to pray for Hobart, I just want to ask, what are the things you enjoy about Hobart? What are the things you like about it? Because I think always before we pray, it's good to give thanks for the good things. So, yell them out. Yeah. Scenery. Okay, scenery, safety, accessibility. Yeah. Coffee, people. Yeah. There's a lot to be thankful for, isn't it? The fact that we are able to live in a place like Hobart. So, as we come to pray for Hobart, let's also remember to give thanks for the good things we enjoy here. But what are the things you'd like to pray for Hobart? continuing safety. Yeah, as we've already focused on places like Ukraine and see what's happening there. Safety is not something we can just take for granted, is it? So we can continue to pray for that.
There are a lot of people who are just busy just living and aren't aware of God.
Yep. Yep, so certainly pray for that. Just tied in with that, Will Graham is coming in a month or two in May to share about Jesus with the folk of Hobart, so we can remember that visit too, that people will attend that and be challenged and respond. I think too that probably not so visible here as in other places, but there are people who are homeless or living in substandard accommodation who really need, to find suitable accommodation, and particularly as we're coming into the colder months ahead, so we can pray for that as well. Anyway, those are a few thoughts. I'm sure you've got others, but let's stop talking and start praying. Again, if you want to just join up in groups that we were before and give thanks and pray for our beautiful city.
I'm sure you guys have travelled a bit. I've been to a lot of cities, and Hobart's one of the most beautiful in the world. So, congratulations to you. We're going to do a live crossover to Matt. I don't think we've got him on the line yet, have we? No. So the guys here are just down the road at Harlequin Castle. I drove past and saw the castle. I was like, okay, I guess you can call it a castle. It's right on the edge, I think. But it's much better than the one up in Ulverston, isn't it? So if you've seen that one. Anyway, so they're down along the rivulet. Often the rubbish seems to go down towards the water, so they're cleaning up on the rivulet. And I think there's a good bunch of them down there. So we're getting close, Steve? Not yet. Okay, well, I've got a quick question for you while we're waiting. Can everyone point in the direction of north? Go. Okay. Yeah, okay. Hands up if you have no idea. So, it's good. Okay, I think north's pretty much straight down the road here. It's 5 degrees off, isn't it? So, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, all right.
So this is heading north along the rivulet.
Sorry?
All right. Hi, Matt. How you going?
Hi, g'day, mate. How you going? We're here at the base here, and we're here at Lena Valley, and I'm here with Michael, who has been organising this for about 20 years, eh?
Wow.
22 years.
22 years. Why is this important?
This is part of a 9.5 kilometre catchment, the Newtown Rivulet.
Yeah.
And this is the most urban part of the catchment.
Yeah.
And it's had a lot of neglect, and I just figure it needs heaps of TLC, and that's why we're here today.
Now, mate, we ran out of vests.
We did.
So we had a pretty good roll-up.
I've toted up about 30 people, which is just awesome. Fantastic. And the other nice bonus is the Nepalese component of the group.
It's nice, isn't it?
It's brilliant.
Yeah. Now, you've been doing, like I said, you've been doing this for a while. Why have you been committed for 20 years to this?
Okay, so I've been brought up in Lena Valley.
Yeah.
And outside the back fence, where I live with my parents, was a creek. And I thought everybody had a creek over their back fence.
Yeah.
So over a period of a long time,
Yeah.
I suddenly appreciated what that really meant.
Yeah.
And so I'm putting back for what I've taken out.
Oh, mate, that's fantastic. Well, and I don't know if you can see over here, we've got a good bunch of the crew sort of turning back with bags. And we actually, one of the challenges here, we have a few sharps kind of issues because there's a drug rehabilitation place over there, but we found a couple of sharps containers. That is part of the challenge of a place like this, isn't it?
What's part of modern society?
Yeah.
It's just being aware, generally.
Yeah, yeah.
Not just of one thing, but being aware. And what I mean by that is this is habitat.
Yeah.
This is not a drain.
Absolutely.
This is real.
Yeah, yeah.
And so then there's these other elements, like modern society, sharps.
Yeah.
And we've just got to take it all in our stride.
Yeah, absolutely right. Now, I guess there'll be people watching from around the state, around the country. I guess what message would you have for them?
Oh, put me on the spot, why don't you? Just appreciate what you've got and look after it. That's all I'd say. And treasure it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much, Michael.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And we'll back to you, Dan.
Thanks, Matt. Great job. So we might see him a bit later. They're going to meet in the park just down the road here after the service. So I don't know if we're going to do tea and coffee here. I'm assuming we're
Done.
But if you want to, you're welcome to go down to the park and you can meet with a bunch of them down there. They're going to continue on. Okay, that's kind of interesting, crossing to other places. So does anyone know that guy that he interviewed? You've seen him around? Yeah? Yeah, that's great. Okay, for this next 5 minutes, I'd like to just pray silently. What I'd like to do is we're going to think of, this is my direction thing, we're going to think of the north, and you might be aware of people in the north who God just places on your heart or who you would like to pray for. And then, so we'll just do that for a minute, just silently, and then we'll think of that way is east, isn't it? The east. And so think of people who are this way that you can pray for, and then west, and then south, and then west as well. So I'd love to pray. Just if you want to, you can shift in your seat. Think this way: who do I know that lives around this direction? And if you can't think of anyone, I'm sure God will place others on your heart as well. So let's just have a minute of praying. We'll have some quiet music in the background, but just praying for people who are north from here, if you would. You can go as far north as you like as well. The thing I like about that prayer is it doesn't just become about your agenda and the things that are in your mind, but you kind of have to think, God, who have you got over there that I can pray for? So, yeah. So I'm assuming that God popped someone into your heart that you might not have thought of yourself, maybe. And I'd encourage you to keep praying for them this week. maybe pick one of those and just keep praying for them. We're going to finish with one song, so we'll sing Cornerstone. Sorry, Agnes, is there coffee after or? Yeah, okay, so we will have coffee here afterwards, and those who want to can hit the south, so hit the park. What's that park called just down? John Turnbull, that's right, John Turnbull. So we'll be back down there for Anzac Day. I'm looking forward to getting to know it. Do you want to stand with me and we'll close and sing Cornerstone? Verse 2 again. When darkness seems to hide his face, I rest on his unchanging grace. In every high and stormy gale, my anchor holds within the veil. Last line. My anchor holds within the veil. So, Father, I pray for this group and for those out and about, Lord, that we can take you into our streets, into our communities, into our workplaces this week. Father, help us to seek you with all our heart and to love those around us. Father, I pray that you'll help us to not just be so filled with the here and now in our head, but that we'll have that we'll be able to see the world from your perspective, have your eyes for it. So, Lord, be with us this week. Amen. Amen. Thanks, guys.